You know what? I'm just going to go out there and say it. We are annoying. We have been making videos about Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini for years. We've been speaking about how Celebrini is the next NHL franchise prospect. We've been speaking about how both of these guys are from Vancouver, British Columbia. We spoke about how Macklin Celebrini, he played for the North Shore Winter Club. Connor Bedard played for the North Shore Winter Club. These guys were cheering for the Vancouver Canucks when they lost in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2011. These guys, and in particular this dude, was cheering for the Vancouver Canucks in the building in 2024 before he was drafted. We have two hometown heroes in Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini, and I totally understand the sentiment. It's so annoying, isn't it? Vancouver fans talking about Connor Bedard potentially coming over to Vancouver one day. This is so depressing for the Canucks that these franchise talents are available and they were in the draft and the Canucks were not competing for said drafts. You talk about Landon DuPont, who wants to, okay, maybe he doesn't want to, but he is a Canucks fan. And then you talk about freaking Gavin McKenna, who is practicing with Macklin Celebrini in Vancouver. Guess what? McKenna is cousins with Connor Bedard. Via marriage, not by blood, but still, that family, man. Absolute lunacy. There's something in the water about these first overall caliber guys that happen to be either growing up in Canucks households or just generally Canucks fans. It's been happening a lot lately, and obviously Canucks fans are so annoying about it. That's why, with Connor Bedard signing his extension, 2031 contract expiration date, $15 million a year, a season that will see him expire as a UFA. And you have Macklin Celebrini, who signed an extension yesterday. 2032 was his contract expiration date, $18.8 million a year. Guess what? Macklin Celebrini's contract is also going to expire as a UFA, with both Celebrini and Bedard going to UFA status in the mid parts of their 20s. It has all of a sudden gotten Canucks fans so annoying, and we're going to address that here. Edler Stick said, if the Canucks keep Pettersson, his money comes off the books the same year Bedard and Celebrini hit UFA status. Oh, baby! Now, yeah, it's not going to be the same year. Bedard goes till 2031, Celebrini's 2032, so it's not exactly the same, but still, it's close enough. And the fact that they are both going to be UFAs in the early 2030s gives Canucks fans a lot to be excited for. Taj went out there and tweeted this: both Bedard and Celebrini UFAs a year apart in their mid-20s. The script is going to plan. Everything lines up perfectly with the Canucks rebuild if they stay patient. Don't screw this up, Francesco Aquilini. Now, here's the thing. There have been a number of tweets about this very specific topic, even from Taj himself. He said this has to be the best offseason for the Canucks in the past decade. Two hometown boys signing contracts that line up perfectly with the Canucks rebuild. Couldn't ask for anything else. Now they have to stay patient for 4 to 5 years and keep loading up with young talent. And it's all fine and dandy, right? I mean, Canucks fans are going to endlessly talk about Celebrini and Bedard because we know, probably, I'm just making an assumption here, but probably in their heart of hearts, if they had to choose where they wanted to play, they probably want to come and do something with the Canucks. Probably. Not saying for sure. You know, we spoke to Connor Bedard a little bit throughout the years on our live streams and such, but we're not going to put words into his mouth. I'm just projecting my own opinions here. It's gotten so big that this talking point was responded to by none other than Ryan McGregor, who does stuff at Blackhawk Up, and who made this post after all of the Taj tweets yesterday. Ryan, who cheers for the Chicago Blackhawks, went out there and said, with all due respect, this isn't even funny anymore. It's truly delusional. I don't know how many times Bedard has to say and show he loves Chicago. Celebrini is thriving in San Jose. What's the point here? Focus on your gosh darn rebuild. Your own prospects, you guys. Putting your hopes on Bedard and Celebrini coming to Vancouver is a waste of time. My mind can't comprehend how people not only think it's possible, but likely that those two come to Van. Sincerely, a Vancouver resident. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I didn't realize that Ryan McGregor's from here. That's pretty great. But, yeah, now we're getting other people saying, hey, guys, you gotta stop. Like, Canucks fans, calm down. Bedard, Celebrini, y'all gotta stop with this they're coming to Vancouver stuff. Firstly, that's like 5 years down the line. Secondly, they've already expressed that they like playing on the teams that they're playing on. What reason do you have to believe that they could be coming over here? And that's a fair take, you know? If anything does happen, it's not gonna happen until the 2030s. We've gotta wait a while. But at the same time, you know, this response prompted a number of really interesting tweets as well. Well, since it's signed by a Vancouver resident, we have no choice but to back off and not have fun with this. Crap. Another reply from Taj says, Hawks and Sharks fans, Canucks fans are delusional. While both fan bases celebrate their franchise players signing contracts that walk them to unrestricted free agency in their mid-20s. Pure comedy. In any serious market, 5-year contracts wouldn't be viewed as a positive. Casuals. Now, Ryan did respond, 5-year contracts are the way of the rising cap, man. You're gonna see more and more players do it. It's just good financial business. If it was about that, they would go 2 to 3 years and neither of them maxed out anyways. Another reply goes out there and says, Patrick Kane signed for 5 years after his ELC, and he wound up playing for 16 years in Chicago. Not sure if you're new to hockey or just stupid. Another reply, they signed their franchise cornerstones to the exact sort of deal that had Hughes on. Let them cope. If they can't win by then, it'll be over for them. And finally, you had Adam Kierszenblat who replied to this as well. It's true. Players always keep their word, and they never leave despite saying they are committed to an organization. And, he's got an article linked here as well. What is this? Oh. Okay, John Tavares from back in 2017, when contract discussions were opening up between him and potentially staying with the New York Islanders. We all remember what happened next. John Tavares played his final season in New York, 2017-2018, said the entire time that he was, okay with signing an extension, he wants to come back, he's loving it in New York. And then he said, I'm not gonna leave. Don't trade me, I'm gonna stay here. Just keep me around. And then guess what? He left. He went home. Now, I'm not saying that Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini are going to snake out Chicago and San Jose in the same way that Tavares did, which, by the way, I do think it's fair to say John Tavares snaked out the Islanders and their fan base. There's a reason they were so mad in 2018, and I think it was pretty valid. But for Celebrini and Bedard, it's like, we're starting to see this narrative, not even narrative, but this idea that, sometimes the hometown guy just goes back. Sometimes the hometown guy goes to his hometown. John Tavares kind of changed the market because for many years it was like, Stamkos is going to go to Toronto. He's going to go home. No, he didn't. Doughty is going to go home. He's going to go to Toronto. No, he didn't. When Stamkos did it in 2018, it was like, I guess the hometown guy actually can come home. And with guys like Celebrini and Bedard especially, he's been the guy that heading into his draft year, everybody's like, this guy loves the Canucks. He loves the Vancouver Canucks. His contract walks him straight to unrestricted free agency, man. Like, I get it. It's 5 years down the line, but Canucks fans, delusional? I don't know about that. I think it's fair to think about at the very least. Either way, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are we delusional for thinking about Macklin Celebrini and Connor Bedard as potential Vancouver Canucks options in 2031, 2032? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.